Hey, you guys, it's another beautiful day. I hope you're all hanging in there. We just dropped bonus episode 6 of the Put the Stress Down podcast with OG Big Wicked, who we want to thank for coming on and sharing and being so open. And, I was able to get to know him on deeper levels. And I walked away from the episode, just knowing so much more about him and understanding him more. And it was a powerful episode. It was a good conversation. So I encourage you, to go and listen to this episode. It's very easy to look at him and say, oh, he's just a gangster up to no good and they're all the same. But you're wrong. You're dead wrong. And I encourage you to listen to this episode, see his point of view, hear what he has to say, and, give him that respect and that credit for opening up and being honest and sharing, what he goes through and who he really is. So thank you, OG Big Wicked. Check him out on Instagram, on all platforms, actually, at OG Big Wicked, Real Ones Apparel. We'll make sure to tag him here. So check him out. Check out the episode and let us know what you think. Thank you, guys. We love you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for listening.
Can't stop, won't stop. Real ones to the motherfucking casket drop. Can't stop, won't stop. Ace up to the motherfucking casket drop. I feel where the darkness consumes the room, and I still live in hell with the motherfucking.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the Put the Stress Down podcast. Another song, another guest. When you don't hear our song that it's going to be something special. And today, I'm extremely happy to have a good friend of mine that I met a while back and has been a big supporter of ours, and we have shown that same love back. And he's in the community actively, and he's been out there for all of this going on. So I wanted to get some words from him he's shared before, and I felt he needed a bigger platform to come on and just speak about everything that's going on and just a good conversation in general. So I'd like to welcome OG Big Wicked to the show.
You dog. Thank you for having me. Appreciate you and you have the opportunity to discuss some things here, and thank you for reaching out. Shout out to everybody out there supporting your podcast, and shout out to everybody out there supporting my music and supporting my clothing line, and supporting your boy and your boys out there in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't take a lot. Take 0 cents, as I always say, to support a friend or support your people. If you're out there supporting different strangers or people that don't really pay attention to you, it's important to also show support for the people that actually are trying to get to that position. Show love. Be humble about that shit.
For sure, man. I think, at the end of the day, that's really going to be what gets us through these rough times. And that's going to be, the most important thing. And I think right now we're seeing a lot of hate on display. We're being force-fed a lot of anger. And, it's going to be on us, to do those things, because it is those little things like boosting somebody or rooting for somebody, gassing up your homies, because, that shit just feels good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and give the people a little bit of background about where you're from, where you were born and raised, and kind of your family situation growing up. Did you have moms and pops, or was it just one? Was it none?
Well, I pretty much grew up in Orange County, Doug. I didn't specifically grow up in a specific city, because when I was young, my mom would continually move from city to city because I'd always end up getting in shape myself, whether it was throwing blows, gangbanging, or just getting kicked out of schools left and right. So I never really actually even graduated from school, So it was continually moving all the time. So that's what I remember as a young kid, moving left and right. But everywhere we ended up landing, I always got myself in trouble. And I think this is also a major reason because my pops, he passed away of cancer, melanoma, when I was about 12 years old. And as a kid, 12 years old, and we pretty much in that time, we were staying up in La Habra, Whittier Boulevard and Beach Boulevard, I believe it was, the cross streets, pretty much right there in the hood. Staying in a 1-bedroom apartment, ghetto as fuck, And my mom and my dad did what they could, But times were hard, And after he passed away, and I feel that's when I something snapped in me, mentally, where I would try to take out that anger that I felt from losing my pops and all the shit that was going on. My mom with migraines left and right, crying because we couldn't have enough money for the rent, me getting a job at 15 years old to help pay with the rent, taking a bus down to be a bus boy and getting fired and trying to be a waiter and trying to work at a shoe store and just doing certain things to help mom with the rent. You know what I mean? And I already knew that whenever I got like gifts for like birthdays or whatever, that I wouldn't see it back. You know what I mean? Well, God bless my mom. You know what I mean? She had to put it into good use. I can expect to, like, you know what I mean, use that money for myself. You know what I mean? So certain things you got to kind of sacrifice as if you grow up like that. So growing up that, I mean, Orange County, that's where I'm from. I mean, most of my time I spent in Santana. That's where my main, that's where my hood is at. You know, Alley Boys, ATC clique. That's where I'm from. You know what I mean? I am a gang member. You know what I mean? I rep my stuff with pride.
Yes, sir.
As you would a team. You know what I mean?
Of course.
As a basketball player, rep his team. As a, like say, I mean, or like when you're in the Army, the Marines, you rep your you know what I mean? Your
right.
thing.
No, hell yeah,
I mean,
hell yeah.
What. You know what I mean? So you got to have, but that doesn't mean that a gang member can't have honor. There is a lot of people out there, whether it's a gang member or whether it's a soldier or whether it's a person in church or whatnot. They may be part of that whole circle entity or whatnot, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that just because he's a gangster, he's going to be a foul, evil-hearted person and just try to hurt people out there. People don't understand that by being a gang member, you're part of a team and you're forced to defend that team. And sometimes you're forced to do, not forced by people, but you're kind of put into situations where you have to take a certain type of action where it's not something that is actually very considered like a good thing to other people.
Right.
Now you got people like in serving for the Army, the Marines, or whatnot, right? I believe that you served for the Marines.
Yes, sir.
There you go, and thank you for your service, dog. You know what I mean? And
thank you.
I actually wanted to join the Army when I was a little kid too, but I mean, I just like the structure part of things. You know what I mean? The whole discipline and you know what I mean? There's certain things that are actually kind of like being in the gang. If you're part of like a good group in a gang, you know what I mean? Because there's some dudes out there that all they do is just do drugs and just get stuck in a pad and then kind of just not back up their friends, which are their homies, to do positive things. They're only there just to get high.
Right.
Only there just to, you know what I mean? So you have that even in the Army, or you have that even in different places of life. Even if you're a part of a church or whatever, there's only people are going to be there for certain reasons. You know, I don't know if I'm getting off track. I tend to do that a lot, dog.
No, but that leads us right into exactly what's going on right now. You know what I mean? And that's that people are being judged, people are being mistreated because of the color of their skin, because of the way they look, because of, you know, someone decided to use their power to, you know, put someone down. Yeah, and that's what's going on right now. So for you growing up, when it came to those type of things, I mean, you know, I grew up in the hood as well, so I think it's safe to say you saw it firsthand. So what was it like for you? You know, what were some of the experiences that you had with police officers coming up and you know, whether good or bad?
Well, I mean, being a gang member, you don't really have good memories with cops and authorities or whatnot, because they always consider you the other side, and they don't really like look at you. I mean, you see me, I'm all tatted up, got dome shots, got my body tatted up. I mean, I don't dress with size fucking 80 pants. I mean, back in the days, I mean, we used to have some big ass pants.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Right there, you know what I mean? And that's the 90s, you know what I mean? And but I still I don't wear no skinny jeans. I mean, it's not my thing, to each his own. But I wear my Levi's, you know what I mean? I got my my Air Force Ones, and the way I carry myself, you already know I'm a gang member. But you can see the difference between this gang member and another gang member.
Absolutely,
but
yeah.
To a cop or authority, no matter what, I mean, there's respectful ones out there. I mean, don't get me wrong. Not every single, I can't sit here and throw them all under the bus, because I have met some very respectful cops out there, and they actually have a genuine need to help people or whatever, right?
Right.
But unfortunately, the majority out there are racist, or they take advantage of their authority or the badge, which gives them a bad name, which I guess could also come down to the whole you're a gang member. All gang members are the same. I already met about fucking 6 out of so and so gang members, and they're all like, yeah, true. I mean, that's a whole stereotype, right? But it's what it is on that. But my experience wasn't good with cops. You know what I mean? And throughout the system, when I went to prison as well, I mean, you got the COs, you got some respectful ones. You know what I mean? That when I went to visit with my girl or whatever, they're respectful. They went out their way to be very courteous, and I appreciate that. You know what I mean? But then there's also snake ass COs and authorities all over the place. You know what I mean? Where they just take advantage of that whole authority and they can use the law to fuck you over, which is something that a gang member can't do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah, that's a big power
they
play.
stereotype you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for example, that one event where I met you the first time, right? On our way there, it was me, my girl, my boy, actually my boy from church, Ruben too. You know what I mean? Good dude. I mean, he comes from the hood too, but he's trying to do Ruben. You met him too that day.
No, that's what I'm saying. Shout out Ruben. He was a good dude, man. I remember him.
Yeah, he's good people. You know what I mean? He's not the type to one of those. You know what I mean? You got a lot of Christians out there, not just Christians, man, but a lot of people that are very religious.
Correct.
Where they act like they're too holier than thou. You know what I mean?
Right. And there's a big difference, right, between those Christians and the ones that are superior or act. There's different types.
Exactly, dog. You know what I mean? Where they're just kind of they might know every verse in the Bible and be quick to fucking judge you. I get that all the time on my Instagram page too. OG Big Wicked, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And comments left and right. People are just bitter, and it kind of it trips me out sometimes when I wake up to shit like that or random. You got some dude there just being disrespectful, judging, and using God's name to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense because I mean I'm not a perfect person. Obviously, none of us are to do 113, but some are more walking that right path better than others.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? But I can't say that I'm a perfect person, but I know this, that if I get one thing out of the Bible, I know that God is love and love is God. So if you know anything about the Bible, you will get that one thing that you got to care for people and you got to have a good heart and stuff. You know what I mean? You can't be evil and do spiteful things and then turn around and say that use God as a credit card to back you up on that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. It all makes sense, and so it's good to hear that you really can't recall many positive interactions with them, but you're not bitter about it. You know what I mean? You're still sitting here saying, I'm going to give every man or woman the right to, address me before I judge them. And I think that's big for people to hear, you know what I mean? To know that it's not just all fuck the police for no reason. You know what I mean? There's reasons, and it's not fuck all police. It's fuck those dirty ass police because they ain't police to me. You know what I mean? They're not humans to me. If you treat somebody that way, bro, to me, if you think, I don't care who you are, if you think you can tell anybody something negative and try to break them down, you're not a fucking human to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. I mean, and like I said, when I did that little live video right there, I mean, I don't really jump on live. You know what I mean? I usually try to keep stuff to myself. I don't really kind of just I don't want to say expose emotions or kind of get too deep into stuff because people tend to put this shit up and take things out of content, and then next thing, I mean, social media got a lot of people out there being weird about shit. Yeah, it's just you got to really be careful more than ever to what you say. But nevertheless, I've never been shy to say what the fuck it is I'm gonna say. So at that day, I was just you know what? It was just really bothering me the way shit is. I got my boy right here, boarding up his business.
Fucking there's talks about motherfuckers breaking into that shit. I know how hard he's worked to fucking like get that business going. I know people that have their businesses, and started thinking like at the end of the day, like what the fuck is it that we're doing? I mean, all right, we're pissed about shit. I'm fucking pissed too. I got homies that got killed by pigs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I say pigs because those were pigs.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
1,000%.
I mean, there's a difference between like a cop that's out there doing their job and they're actually being like respectful, and they have no, you know what I mean? They have like a respectful person with that, you know what I mean? Like values or whatnot, right? Not that they're trying to single fucking like brown or black or the gangster, the cholo or the black or this and that, right? So I mean, those are the individuals that, you know what I mean, that give them a bad name. So I mean, it's pretty much like at the end of the day,
there's good and bad, right? I mean, and that's in every group, right? In every group.
Yeah. And like I mean, it's kind of like a self-destruction in a way, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like them actually finding joy in it,
right?
Because that's what they would want anyway. Because that the way that they look at us and the way that they know that we will react on it is pretty much what we're doing and shit.
Right.
So like I said, in my thing is it's more, you got to be able to be more of a chess player in this game versus a checker player. Because if you do moves fast and you do it in anger, we all fall short in that. You know what I mean? If I get pissed, if someone disrespects me and I just put a hole in their fucking in their chest, then at the end, if I react on that impulse, then I might not have done the best move, right? But if I think about it and just give my moment a little bit of clarity in my mind before I react, then I can make a smarter decision on that move that I'm about to make. So I guess what I'm trying to say is there's smarter ways of handling it so we can make a difference out there in the whole situation versus burning down our own fucking businesses. Next thing you know, the fucking CVS down the street or the store or the motherfucking like the grocery store got burned down and everything's all on the fucking floor. There's nothing there. So what do we go buy? Toilet paper. What do we go buy? What is our abuelas or abuelos or tias or tios or moms or jefas or whatever? What do we go buy the stuff? We have to make an extra trip down to who knows where to get that. So we're pretty much just fucking ourselves over. And at the end, we're pretty much hurting ourselves because they don't care. I mean, obviously that fucking pig that did that, he's not suffering for it.
No, he's not even thinking about it. That's the sad part. You know what I mean? He's not even thinking about it. Meanwhile, like you said, you know what I mean? Fragile or elderly are missing out on things. And now, you know, they may be on a very tight budget and they can only go so far. And now what do? You know what I mean? And yes, I understand the anger. You know what I mean? I truly do. It's not right what's happening. Absolutely. And it needs to change. But, you know, I do think very, very deep about things. And I, you know, yeah, like you hear the people, oh, Gucci and all them, fuck those places. Like, yeah, that's fine. You know what I mean? But there's people in our communities, in these stores that you're building, that you're burning down, and they're losing their jobs, they're losing their livelihood, and they're innocent victims in all this. You know what I mean? And that's what pains me to see. So, you know, you're active in the community, man. You're always out there, and you're always trying to do good, and you know, help the youth and things like that.
I try to do what I can, G. You know what I mean? I try to do what I can. You know what I mean? Like when we met, that's why I don't know if I was able to even get to the story. I think I got sidetracked. But when we met, we were on our way there with Ruben and my boy Bobby and our girls or whatnot, and we went down there. I mean, geez, right? I mean, it was a tent donation event for the homeless in LA, or from Orange County, right? And we participated on it. So you got these gang members that people would label as just criminals. We do this and that. And at the end of the day, we're the ones right there, pretty much contributing to those things. So for someone to see that, they would actually realize, you know what, they're not all the same. Or not to say we're all the same, but the intentions are not always on a negative tip. You know what I mean? So if I'm out there being a gang member and buying like 15 tents for the homeless, I'm trying to help out those in need. Right. And then on the way there, I remember seeing this cop behind us, And right away, you could tell he's, you know what I mean, just waiting for a reason to pull us over. I mean, the windows are kind of slightly down so they can see there's ball heads in the car. Now, this with this cop, if he was on a fucking whole racist trip, know that we're on our way to go donate tents for the homeless, I think he would have changed his mindset. But right away, the stereotype, right away, it could have turned bad. Let's say it would have been fucking us on Rest in Peace, George Floyd or something, right?
Right.
And then they find in the car nothing but a bunch of tents. Where were these guys going? What the fuck were they up to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just don't give that opportunity to actually see the whole bigger picture on it. So, I mean, the whole stereotyping out there is like, it's bad. I mean, and it's sad to say that it's all about the fucking, like, there's a lot of racism out there. I've been seeing videos right here in actually Orange County, man. I mean, like, there's some parts right there, like, say, I mean, I got some peoples in Huntington Beach and everywhere in Orange County, right? You got good parts, you got bad parts, just like in every other county. You know what I mean? I mean, all LA County is not all bad. I mean, there's some cities where it's not bad at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, correct.
So every county got them. It's San Diego, Ventura, no matter where you go. So let's say you go to a beach city in Orange County, right? But then you got a lot of racist parts, which like you'll catch a different vibe when you go down to say like San Clemente Pier versus you go down to Huntington Beach Pier. And I caught that. You know what I mean? And I'm not into like government politics, all that bullshit, man. You know what I mean? I'm just myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I believe that ever since this Trump president went in office, everything seems to be fucking like gasoline on the racism, and I think that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which
so
you're entitled to,
you'll
man.
notice that a lot of racist people, they always have this big old fucking Trump hat or a Trump flag, and you know what I mean? It's like to each his own. I'm not gonna see it. You know what I mean? But I'm just speaking my mind, and this is the way I feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's you know what I mean. That you should.
And I know there's a lot of racists out there. There were like literally protests, you know, like like just use some racial shit. You know what I mean? There's videos out there with people with their knees on other people's on someone in the floor.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just kind of like clowning on this shit. You know what I mean? It's like, and then we got our own fucking race wars and shit all over the place. You got like certain blacks, youngsters out there who are disrespecting like elotero and disrespecting people that are out there trying to earn a good living, trying to provide for their families, and they're poor little, like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, they're good people. I mean, it's not like they're fucking out there. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of that bullshit going on, dog. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of shit that it just shows you that there's a lot of racism out there, not just in whites, but in a lot of places. You know what I mean? Yeah,
across the board, and not just racism, but even like, let's get back to the stereotyping. You know what I mean? Just kind of tell me what it's like, because you know you do have that look. You know what I mean? That's just who you are. So what is it like for you mentally when you do get pulled over and you already know they're gonna fuck with you, or you go to the doctor's office and you're just trying to keep an appointment, but you walk in the room and everybody, you know, gets a little more alert? You know what I mean? What is that like for you, you know, as a man mentally to deal with?
Well, the stereotype, you know what I mean? That's I've always had that, dog, and that's always like you kind of feel like when you're in my early stages, I feel like I always had to kind of defend myself, even when I didn't have to. I just feel like automatic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No matter where you go, right away, like, or say you go to a nice restaurant, and like even when I was younger, I always hustled. Right, I had legal and illegal money. Right, I'm gonna keep it real. But I mean, back in those days, I used to do a lot of moving things there. But that was back in the States. I mean, ever since I had my kids, I don't. I mean, it's all fucking legit shit. You know what I mean? Clothing line, music, or you know what I mean?
For sure.
But I had a lot of money back in the days. You know what I mean? I was doing my things, just hustling hard as a young kid. I had a job, and I was fucking out there doing my thing. So whenever I would go down to a nice restaurant, because I'm like, fuck, I mean, so this is what rich people feel like, right?
Yeah.
I'll go down and right away people would fucking look at me like, cause, you know what I mean? And I had nice stuff on. I mean, I was a gambler when I was young, but I was bald, and you could tell that I was like a street dude, but I had nice shit on, like nice, expensive shit too. Right. And I go down there and I just like pull cash out, and people would just look at me all bad, and I'm sitting here treating my boys to like food, little restaurant or get a VIP section or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My boys remember, you know me, back in those days, I was like all over the place. I mean, I was in the Bay, Orange County, in different spots. You know what I mean? So you do get that stereotype. You know what I mean? And I always got that stereotype because being a gang member and having money or driving a Mercedes and you're a bald head and a gang member right away, that's gonna get you like, all right, this motherfucker stole that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or how does he have money? Or right away he's, you know what I mean, doing just that. I mean, yeah. So the stereotyping has always been part of my life, man. But nowadays, I kind of find myself not giving a fuck. To be honest with you, you know what I mean? Before I used to kind of feel like I have to prove myself that I'm this and that. Well, not this and that, but I mean, like in a way to like, I'm not this bad person you think, but now it's like I'm just me. Correct. You know what I mean? And I just keep doing my thing, and at the end, people will either view you for who you are, take that time to actually see what you're about, or they're gonna sit here and be closed-minded and ignorant and just judge you for what they think that you are.
Right. And those are the people that, you don't need to build relationships with, you know what I mean? But you also don't need to spit no hate on nobody. You just need to know, look, this fool ain't what I'm about, and that's cool, but I'm going to go left and he's going to go right. You know what I mean? And I think if we did that and if we had more understanding with each other to say, look, I don't agree, you know what I mean? But let's base that off experience. Let's talk about it. Let's stop saying, I already don't agree with you or I already don't like you because of your appearance.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And we're on the same board on that. I mean, we got the same, I believe, the same thought process on that. I mean, and it's something that will pretty much will never go away.
Yeah,
I don't think, you know what I mean? Because people always be ignorant, and people will always judge you for what they think that you are. And at the end of the day, whether you sometimes I actually wonder. I mean, like, I'm like, fuck, what if I didn't have a tattoos, and what if I had fucking hair and green eyes and shit or whatever? Would I go through the same shit? Right. Right.
No,
the same struggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's true. And so, like, I mean, fuck, picture of fucking like a me in a different. So it kind of attracts that because that's the way people choose to look at me. But they don't know that if they actually get to know me. And those that actually got to know me, I mean, that it's more than just the whole gang member shit. I'm a father. I mean, I got my girl. I run a clothing line. I do music legit. It's not just a fucking like hobby that you know what I mean, got little songs here and there. I'm on Pandora, Spotify, all that shit. So it's all legit. And it was all hard work. And it's something that I'm proud of myself because at one point when I was a little kid right there growing up in the hood, it was just a dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember people fucking telling me when I was a kid that I couldn't even have a Mercedes. I remember fucking like when I was young, when I used to go to like certain schools, dog. Racist fucking people. They'll be like fucking like, oh, here comes burrito or whatever. You know what I mean? I used to fight a lot in school and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's racism has always been around fucking like especially in Orange County, dog. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but there's a lot of racism out there too. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, more than before.
Let's go into aside from all the brutality things that are going on, the rioting. Before that, you had the COVID, right? So it's like everyone's just trying to deal with those two monsters. But at the end of the day, we all have our own internal things going on that people, tend to forget. And people can look at you and go to your page and be like, oh, look at this fool. You know what I mean? Like, he's a rapper. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's got his own clothing line. Like, he don't understand what it's like to be going through what I'm going through, So what do you say to that person, that thinks that because of they see something on Instagram or, they see your life, they think, that you don't go through things mentally?
Man, I would say to those people that they need to realize that I heard too. And I didn't just grow up and was handed a clothing line or the music mentality to be able to do the tedious stuff that is required to actually be doing all that stuff. People don't know that I grew up brokenhearted. I grew up with no dad. I either had 3 jobs when I was a fucking kid.
had to help with the rent, lived in the hood, had stale cereal with fucking water for breakfast many times, fucking 3 slices of bread in our lunch was fucking a ketchup sandwich. You know what I mean? A fucking ketchup sandwich. And I remember eating fucking ketchup packets and shit out of hunger at times because we just didn't have shit. And my mom was just working fucking jobs right there, just trying to pay the rent, me trying to help her.
Yeah. As a child, you know?
As a child, and with no father. I mean, how the fuck do you become a father when you didn't have a father? Who gives you instructions? You know what I mean? And then to be a father and to be I'm not the world's fucking most perfect father, but I think I do a pretty good job myself. Having 4 kids, I got my stepson, my niece, or you know what I mean? It's not easy to do that and be able to juggle clothing line, music, being a G, being a father, and this and that. So people think that it's just like all easy, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this guy's making his money. You don't know shit about it. Man, I know all about the motherfucking struggle. All about that shit. And I was deep in the streets, all up in the mix. Not one of those gangsters that was out there partying, just in it for the bitches, or just in it for the looks. Because there's a lot of those that I met throughout my life, you know? And I wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
My homies from my good and people that know me know that I'm on some real one shit. And you're not going to catch no, like, fake shit with me. Excuse me. So by being a real one, I don't mean like you got to be a gangster to be a real one, but just a real individual. I mean, just solid with it. You know what I mean? You're a real one because you're real with your shit. I'm a real one, not just because I'm a gangster. A lot of people sometimes mix that up and they're like, oh, I'm a real one. You know what I mean? Because you could be a real piece of shit.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A real one, a solid individual. We all know what the real one meaning stands for. You know what I mean? That's what my coin line, real ones. You know what I mean? You can't be a fake piece of shit or someone that is just fucking spiteful and bad-hearted and support real ones. You want to feel comfortable with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to be able to support it because you already know deep inside you can't wear it because you're just not a real one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I get it, and I got it right away. You know what I mean? When I saw it, and that's the thing. If you're a real one, you're going to understand. Like, I know what you're saying, you know what I mean, by being a real one. You know what I mean? I get it because I'm real as fuck, dog. You know what I mean? And this is my show, and I'm only going to have people on here that I respect, bro, that I hold to a high standard, that you know what I mean, that I really know that you get it.
Exactly, dog. You know, and that's why I fuck with a lot of people in different types of sides of the world or different, like, for example, like when we met, I mean, you could tell right away, like, real recognize real.
Yeah.
Even though you're not a gang member, you carry yourself like a G. You know what I mean? And you don't have to be a G to be a G. I don't know if that makes sense.
It
like
does,
I tell my daughter,
to the real G's, it makes sense.
You know what I mean, dog? And people get that shit twisted. You know what I mean? Because you can be a G, you still be a punk, and like as a gangster.
Yep.
I met gangsters that are just fucking all show.
Mm-hmm.
They might dress the fucking part. They might have tattoos. They might fucking like throw up their sign or whatever. But they're just punks. They're the first to snitch, the first to fucking sit here and fold, first to leave you hanging if like it will go down to a fight. Like say something happens, it's 3-on-3 or say 3-on-2 or 10 on. I mean, I've been in situations where I got left behind and shit. I mean, and you look back, it's like you got to be able to see your real one right behind you.
Yeah.
If he leaves you, the shit goes down. He ain't a real one. He was only there conditionally until the shit got shitty.
Yeah.
And when it gets shitty, then that's when a fake one will fucking leave your side.
Well, that's what they say. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be a gangster until it's time to do some gangster shit.
Exactly, dog. I mean, and I've done everything that there is to it. I've been there, done it with all the G shit, been to the pen, been to the feds. And I'm not saying no way, shape, or form, dog, that I'm the fucking, baddest fucking gangster on the fucking planet. Not at all. I mean, because I can get smoked too. You know what I mean?
I can be the baddest motherfucker and go at it with 100 fucking fools. I'm not gonna fool. I'm gonna go at it, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that one of them might get me. You know what I mean? It's just reality. But if you're a real one, I mean, you're gonna be real with it every aspect in your life. You know what I mean? Not just being a gang member. So
Right.
when I speak to my homies, my youngsters, I talk to them all the time. Matter of fact, I was just talking to my boy Danny, which is kind of ironic, if that's the right word, but he was calling me early. He wanted to chop it up with me, and he has his own little landscaping business, right? And he was telling me, dog, we got to do something positive today. And I was like, hey, well, what you got in mind? You know what I mean? I'm always open to, you know what I mean? He's like, he's just tripping out the whole times about that we're going through right now. And I was like, it's kind of trippy, you know what I mean? Because my homies open up to me, not just about gangster shit. You know what I mean? They open up to me about life shit, struggles, girls, problems that they're having, or you know what I mean? And I respect that. And I respect that they respect me enough to actually open up like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not easy to. I mean, me, myself, I'm fucking like, I'm very close about shit. I usually hold shit in and then I'll just snap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just like, I try to play the part like I'm just dealing with it well, or just because I don't expose it or I'm putting it on social media or I'm going through it. It doesn't mean I'm not going through it. I go through it a lot of times. I go through a lot of fucking mind fucks and struggles and get overwhelmed with shit. I got my daughter that has epilepsy. I'm not going to post it, but fucking Saturday we're right there and she had a seizure. She has epilepsy. You know what I mean? And it's fucked up and people don't know that shit. You know what I mean? They might be like, hey, fuck, he hasn't posted for a while or he's being short today or this and that, but they don't know what I'm going through behind the scenes or real life shit. It's not, I don't have it all fucking like, flowers and fucking and doves and shit. You know what I mean? It's not easy, dog. I'm still in the struggle. I'm not rich. I'm not broke, but I ain't rich.
Yeah, I hear you,
You know
bro.
what I mean?
Yeah, and one of the biggest things that I preach, man, is that every single day in and day out, somebody is going through something and somebody is going through something big. So when you're out and about, you know, you need to carry yourself that way and you need to understand nobody owes you a fucking answer to anything. We're all just trying to get through it. You know what I mean? So I try to push that respect, that positivity, you know what I mean? That realness.
Right.
Because it's hard, man. It's hard to see, you know what I mean? It's hard for me, you know, and I could have gone a different way when I came back from war, you know what I'm saying? I could have been biased against Middle Eastern people, or I could have held on to that anger and let it kill me. But, you know, bro, I've seen what that brings, and it's nothing good. You know what I mean? It doesn't give my kids a good father. It doesn't give my wife a good husband. You know, it doesn't do any good for anybody. And I know that, you know what I mean? So, but I also know that it took a long time for me to get there. And so if I do come up on somebody on the street, you know, being sideways, and don't get it twisted, you're not just going to walk up to me and disrespect me. That's not going to happen. But what I am saying is if I see some dude and I see him in a way, I gotta, you know, think that he may be going through something bigger than I understand. And do I need to get dust, to kick the dust up with this fool, or do I just need to get home to my kids? You know what I mean? And it's just my head's in a different place.
Yeah, how serious is it? You know what I mean?
Right.
How serious is it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and like I tell my kids all the time. I tell people all the time. You know what I mean? Like you never really know what someone is going through mentally when you approach them or when you cross paths or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might be having a great fucking day, but then this person might have gotten a big fucking fight with this girl. Fucking might have fucking like his kid might have had a seizure. Might have just fucking lost his job. His fucking homie might have got smoked, or maybe shit's not going well and he's in a dark spot. So you don't really know what the fuck people are going through, because the mind is very powerful and the mind could actually make you believe your own shit if you let it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the mind is always thinking. I mean, I don't know if you're like me, dog, but I'm always thinking and shit.
Always.
Sometimes I can't even fucking sleep and shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's hard. I mean, because it's like, how do you turn that shit off? You know what I mean? There's no switch on it. So you continually have to think about it. And like I probably got that from my mom. It's not worrying because my mom worries a lot, but I always think about the worst case scenarios too, because I feel like I have to stay ready for the worst case scenario so it won't hit me as hard when it does happen, if it does happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, man, and I respect that. So talk about your music, man, because you have a gift that not a lot of people have, and that's that you're able to kind of tell your story through music. You know what I mean? Which is, I respect the shit out of that because I do my little graphic design with the brand, and I do this with the podcast, but I can never do like that. You know what I mean? So when did that begin
Right.
for you, and how important is that as a creative outlet in dealing with your mental health?
Yeah, it's always been very kind of not hard to answer that question, but I mean, I've always spit gangster shit because that's all I pretty much, not all I know, but it just comes out naturally, dog. It's like the Hulk in me, I guess. I mean, the Ghost Rider in me and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the dark side of me, just the angry me, just wants to just talk about. So I mean, you have a lot of people out there that have different tastes in music. Me, I just spit what I spit, and just my topics are from my experiences in life and or whatnot, right? Like, for example, like this recent track that I got, I will be doing a video for it. Sooner or later, hopefully the situation gets better. Called Gutter. In that track, I get a little more in depth about my feelings because I haven't really like shown or really got deep into like I got a bunch of lyrics written in prison and county. They're really deep, but I never feel comfortable about like putting it on the music, which I should. You know what I mean? Because that's really like telling you taking you a little deeper into aside from the gangster shit and everything, right? But I throw bits and pieces. Like for example, the track you were playing earlier in the beginning of your show, right? Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Right? Mm-hmm. If you listen to the lyrics, I mean, I've been where the darkness consumes the room, in a cell living hell with no motherfucking mail. I've been in the calles, putting holes in domes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like the dark side of things, and you actually get a visual of what I'm saying. You're like, fuck. I mean, fuck. That's some like really like deep shit if you think about it, because he's kind of like throwing it out there. Like, I mean, I've been where it's like this dark cell, fucking like in the hole in prison, stressed out about shit or going through it, as far as like facing fucking 3 attempted murders, not knowing if I'm gonna get released, looking for the mail. When they pass by your cell and they drop off the letter. There's months when I was like no mail and shit.
Yeah, fuck. I can't imagine
like,
that.
It's just, you know what I mean? It's just like, you're alone, dog. You know what I mean? You're just fucking alone and shit. And I've been in the streets and doing this fucking like gangster ass shit. So all that stuff right there kind of fucks you up mentally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can only imagine, I can only imagine. And that's why I say, like, when I tell my story and I talk about war and the things I've seen, like, sometimes it shocks people and they're just like, man, it's like a lot for them to take in. And they're like, I can never understand that. But then I hear you talk, bro, and I can't imagine, bro, what that's like to sit in that cell all fucking alone and nobody's writing, and there's it just feels like, I mean, hope has to just dissipate at that point. Like, how do you carry on every day?
It's all mind control, you know what I mean? At that point, G, I think it's a lot of mental fucking like discipline, to where you realize in your mind you have no fucking choice. Like, you're really gonna break it or you're gonna make it. You can lose it and go fucking nuts, or you can actually just build like a mental callus and a weird situation and not get trapped into the room that you're in or the situation that you're in. There's times when I like got off the phone, got some bad news, I had to go back to my cell. How do you even, like, you know what I mean? It's, or you get in, or like army, or you don't know where your girl is at, or you don't know fucking like if you're getting out, or you got some bad news with your court, or just shit's all bad, right? And then you just gotta mentally block it out and kind of numb yourself to where you get kind of like you kind of lose like I don't want to say lose your heart because I would never lose that, but you kind of lose like emotions. You kind of control your emotions more to where you can actually just be more numb to shit, and it's kind of like someone fucking sitting here taking bats to the face, and you can concentrate so hard that you won't feel it.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, with my, dealing with PTSD, I get that, bro. I get that a lot. I said it, in earlier episodes. I don't want to call it an ability because I don't know if that's the right word, but, and it's definitely not a gift, but I can just detach, you know what I mean? Very easily, man. I can just be like, I can just disappear into nothing at the snap of my fingers, you know what I mean? Because of the things I've been through.
Yeah, dog. And it's not like you said, it's not like a gift, but it's like a gift with a curse.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people can do that, because those that can't, they'll cry and then they'll lose it. They'll kill themselves. And it's not easy to, you know what I mean, to be dealing with a lot of shit, but there's a lot of people out there dealing with different like demons in their mind and shit, or struggles in life or whatnot. So it is important to be able to like get a hold of yourself and get a grip of yourself to a certain extent. But to the point where, I mean, I myself got into it's like I can like cut off people like nothing nowadays. If they do me dirty, it's very. I mean, because it's like I give a person so much respect and so like much love, and I'm a very like I don't want to say I'm a very forgiving person, but I have a good heart with shit. But it's hard for me to forget shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that callousness sometimes will kind of blend into that, and it's just like, all right, fuck me, nah, fuck you. You know what I mean? Boom. But at the end, it's not really good because you kind of like detach yourself from you know what I mean? Like sometimes being a little cold and shit or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Right. And I don't want to be that person. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make me feel good to be that type of person. Like I don't want to be that type of person to people, but because of, who I am sometimes, I become that person, and I'm just like, fuck off. I'll see you never. You know what I mean? And I don't give a fuck. But ultimately, that's what's wrong with this world. You know what I mean? And that's where we as individuals have to do our parts, to be compassionate and to understand that everybody's dealing with shit.
Absolutely, dog. I mean, fuck it. The whole world got PTSD from all the shit we've been through. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, that's not an exaggeration,
it's worldwide
bro.
fucking PTSD, dog. I mean, it's some real shit. I mean, everybody has their ways of dealing with the situations that we're going through, but I guarantee you there's some people out there that are losing their fucking head because not everybody's used to being in a lockdown or whatever, right? And I mean, like people such as myself or individuals, we can maintain on that, but even then, it's still like, fuck, when you actually, like, if you let the reality hit you, like, fuck, the whole world is on lockdown. You know what I mean? Motherfucking, you turn on the TV, all you see is coronavirus, you see motherfucking riots, you see the fucking president's bullshit, you see fucking left and right? You can get away with go on Netflix and watch some other shit. I can get away with and listen to music or whatever, but at the end of the day, that's exactly what the fucking world's going through right now, and it's just real shit. Now, it's about how you deal with it, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, for example, in this, like, whole, like, lockdown shit, I don't agree that, that's why you haven't seen me out there as much and active on, like, events and all that, because I don't want to be that guy that goes to an event too soon or whatever, or hangs out with my fucking homies or whatever, and the next thing you know, I get that shit and then give it to someone that I got love for, like my kids or whatever, right?
Yeah, no, for
then
sure.
how am I gonna feel knowing that I'm the motherfucker that brought it? Because I know that I went to this hangout or this place, and then I most likely am the reason why. And then you can't live with the type of shit. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, obviously everybody wants to go out there. Everybody wants to go continue like it was before, but these are the times when it's got to be like a little slow steps on it. You know what I mean? You got to take baby steps on this shit. Can't just go back out there and just be all raw with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's why, I say the same thing. Like, yeah, I'm upset too, dog. You know what I mean? This is my fucking hometown. These are my streets. But
Right.
this is my family. This is my home. And I need to be here to protect them. So what can I do? That's what we're doing now. You know what I mean? It's going to take men like you and I to step up and talk about these things and spit this knowledge out, to the younger generation, to let them know that there's a better way. You know what I mean? There's a better way than to fuck everything up. So, you got a lot going on, man. Despite all that, it's some powerful stuff to hear, but you've managed to turn it around, and you've got your music going, you got the apparel line going. So I just want to give you an opportunity to tell people, because I know how much it could be, and I know that the most important thing is a strong support system. You know what I mean? So I just want to give you an opportunity to shout out, your team, the people behind you. You got a good woman and your kids, and just let everybody know how vital that stuff is to the system, to the business plan.
Yeah, and it is very vital, Doug. It's very vital for those that are around you, more than others, to show you some type of support system to what it is that you do. Because at the end of the day, I've been doing my thing for a long time on my own. I feel like in my strong mind that I don't fucking need anybody, that I can do this on my own. But it does feel good when you get that love, that support, on like, man, I'm proud of you for this, or I'm proud of you for that. Or, man, fuck it, that's a badass design, or certain things like that, or you know what I mean, or sharing being proud of what that individual is doing is very important for that success. Like for example, they have a saying, right? Behind every successful man, there is a good woman.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, and it could also be a bad thing if you don't, because then you're not focused. Then you're kind of clouded. If that will be the case, right?
You're right.
You're not as motivated, because when you become like a part of a relationship or whatnot, I'm not speaking about mine, and I'm speaking in general. If you become part of a relationship, a lot of the things that happen in that relationship would affect you. Like if you're in a relationship, like as being a father and a kid, if my kids are acting up and everything, and I'm not going to be as smooth on my hustle on things like that. But like, say you have like people out there going out there to work, whatever, and shit is all bad at home, or they're going to school, shit is all bad at home. You're not going to be that 100% you that you would be when shit is all bad. You're not going to be giving it your full 100% OG Big Wicked or 100% extended fucking family apparel, or you know what I mean? You're not going to be your 113% real ones apparel. You know what I mean? You're not going to be, or like a fighter going to a fight, because every day is like a fight, right?
Hell yeah.
You pretty much get up and you're about to go to your fucking ring. So if something's bothering you on the way to that ring, you're not going to be your fucking best, and you might get your ass kicked.
Right, and you'll still go out there and perform, but you're not gonna do as good as that you can do when things are, when there's someone's trying to drag you down instead of rooting you on.
Smooth. Yeah, exactly. That's why there's people out there that are bitter as fuck. Dog. I mean, like I was sharing with you earlier, you got people out there that, for some fucking crazy reason, you got so many trolls out there, dog, bitter ass motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
That go on my pages and left and right. I mean, go as far as fucking emailing my clothing line and talking shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these individuals, face to face, they wouldn't say that shit, because I think they know better, and they would literally, you know what I mean, end up on the floor. And when they wake up and pick up their teeth, they'll realize what the fuck they did wrong to end up on the floor and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But online, people fucking talk shit. They try to put you down. You're never gonna make it. Your music sucks. Your eyebrows look perfect. You must pluck them.
I don't even pluck my eyebrows. Homie, you know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah,
they just find the stupidest shit.
Stupid.
And then
And for what?
And, I mean, just to make you feel shitty, dog. Just to shit on your day, so you're not having a good day. So that way they can get under your skin and make you feel like, fuck, maybe they're right. Maybe my music won't make it. Well, what am I gonna do? Maybe, fucking, man. I say to them, fuck you, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Eat a bowl of dick, dog, because they weren't with me on my side when I was in prison. They weren't with me when I was sit there struggling and like holding inside the cries, the tears from my dad. They weren't there when I was fucking shedding tears from my dad. They weren't there when I was dead broke and lost it all and sleeping in a garage and taking a fucking bus to get out of prison. Nobody was really there but my fucking me and God. I mean, at the end of the day, because that's been my fucking truest friend, low-key, and I just talk to him all the time to, like, I still, till this day, I pray, you know what I mean? And that comes down to another fucking, like, point. I mean, I have, people now and then, matter of fact, I had one a few days ago, hops in, and this is not the last one or the first one or the last one, I'm sure. And the ones that piss me off the most are the ones that bring up God when they want to bash me.
Yeah.
I mean, going into comments like, so you're a Christian, but you're out there fucking doing this and you're promoting gang stuff and this and that. Like, why do you have a scripture on the side of your face? Philippians 14:13, right? Or why do you talk about God and you still do gangster shit? So their whole point, right? They're bringing up God, they're bashing me in that, and they're throwing their verses out there. But they want me to just stop talking about God. Should I not give a fuck about God? Should I say just, you know what, they're right? I should just be completely 100 fucking 13% just pure fucking wicked? Because then I guarantee you the world will be in trouble too, because if I go straight bad and I don't do no positive events, I don't even speak any positivity at all, motherfuckers would be in trouble. I will go back down to be the old me where I fucking just didn't give a shit. I was out there just gangbanging, and anybody that just even looked at my direction, even looking at my car, will get fucking led. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll end up getting fucking socked in the face. You know what I mean? I was just had a very big chip on my shoulder back in those days, and I'm still working on it. You know what I mean? But even then, I mean, for someone to sit here and use the word of God to tell you that you're not good enough to talk about God, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I was telling you earlier, because I mean, I'm a religious person, and I don't know a bunch of verses in the Bible, but I pray a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I was telling you earlier, if I get one thing out of the Bible is that God is love and love is God. You know what I mean? And I know that one thing. That's it's not a verse. But if I'm gonna sit here and act like I'm fucking perfect, and then go sit here and fucking use God and bash other people, then I pretty much don't know what the Bible's about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't say in the Bible, before you open this Bible, before you read the first verse in Genesis, you have to be a perfect fucking person. If not, then don't read this fucking book, because it's only for perfect fucking people. Come on, dog.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody in the fucking Bible was fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody was fucking up. You know what I mean? So how are they going to sit here and like judge me on it? You know what I mean? I may not be leading like a whole just Christian people and not perfect, like this and that. Yeah, I understand, but they can't. Certain Christians or not just Christians, dog, but certain people that are all up in the church and know every verse, they can't get walked in the hood, and people ain't going to respect them for what they say. They're not going to listen to them because they can't relate. I can walk in the hood, and they can relate. I can speak positivity to those that can relate to me, and they'll listen because they know that I'm not just talking out of my ass.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I do speak positivity, when I tell my little homies, don't do fucking drugs. I mean, I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to babysit you, be your daddy. But I am going to speak positivity to you and to get your education. I tell my kids, don't be a pig. Don't be fucking like out there fucking worry about like girls and guys and all this stuff, because at the end of the day, I don't carry myself like that. You know what I mean? I may look like a player, but I'm not. I mean, I always been a gang member, even when I was a young motherfucker. I mean, I always used to get, man, your homeboy Wickers can see this, just because my mind was always in gangbanging versus fucking going with bitches. You know what I mean? That wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
Even now, you don't see my videos with a bunch of girls just twerking on my videos. It's just gangster shit, just me speaking my shit. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just it's not like something that see, these people that are preaching God and all that, and they're going out on my page or whatever just to shit on my day. I mean, that's not what God's about. I mean, you know what I mean? That's not what, like, how is that positive?
Yeah, no.
Or they'll go on your page and then tell you that your music fucking ain't gonna make it, and then you look at their page and they got nothing but fucking bullshit going on, or they're a fake page. Like you go out of your way to shit on my fucking on my accomplishments. For what reason? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
And what is it that makes you so fucking angry that I got this going on like if it was given to me? You know what I mean? People don't understand that. They shit on you not knowing that you're once the motherfucker that was going through fucking shit that you're lucky to even be alive.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I mean, I should have been there, should have been in fucking prison. I mean, shit, I was fighting 3 attempted murders, dog. You know what I mean? I was in the feds and all sorts of shit. I went through fucking, you name it, dog. You know what I mean? Some things I can't get really into, but I didn't have it easy. So I can't relate to people that have it easy, because it's not because I'm being an asshole or like, but I just can't relate to easy shit. And when someone is going through that and that had it better, I mean, I try to let them know that you don't have it as bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it could always be worse, man. And, you know, whether people like what you're doing or they don't, the one thing that I respect about you, man, is that you always keep it real, man. And I thank you for taking the time out to sit down with me and for being so open and honest. I think these conversations are going to continue to do a lot of good, man. And I believe it's going to open the door for others, you know, to come on here and share and be honest and to just understand each other a little bit more, bro. So go ahead and give out all your social media, everything, your websites, wherever the people could find you, man, so we can build that support system.
Yeah, it's all good, doggy dog. And first of all, I mean, thank you. I mean, thank you for reaching out. I mean, you're my boy and everything, you know what I mean? So now that you got your podcast going, I mean, I support it. Maybe you could send me the link. Maybe I'll put it on my YouTube as well or something, you know what I mean? So that way I can get your name out there. I mean, obviously, what is your podcast called? I mean,
it's the Put the Stress Down podcast. So the reason why it's called the Put the Stress Down podcast is because, you know, I'm a combat vet and I was diagnosed with P.T.S.D. Now, those letters stand for post-traumatic stress disorder. So I decided to take those letters and put a positive spin on them and name the podcast Put the Stress Down with those letters.
There you go, doggy dog. And that's something we can both relate to. You know what I mean? You've been in the combat. You've been out there as a soldier. And me, I've been out here in combat in the streets as a soldier. So we both got fucked up in the head in different parts of you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure. And you know, I if you're down for it, brother, you know, you'll come back again. You know what I mean? And we'll talk about that. You know what I mean? We'll talk about the parallels that we both faced, and you know what I mean, the same mentality that we faced with the day in and day out, and you know, 3 hots in a cot, and you're just taking it meal to meal, trying to do your time and get home. You know what I mean? So I'd love to have you back.
Dog.
So go ahead, let us know your website, let us know your Instagram.
So let me go ahead and I appreciate that, G. You know what I mean? And well, my all my social media is all under OG Big Wicked, ODBIGWICKED. My clothing line, Real Ones Apparel, REALONEZ APPAREL, Real Ones Apparel. So that's also all over social media, and you got Real Ones Entertainment as well. So my YouTube channel, that's Big Wicks 123. I mean, you can find me anywhere. I mean, just go on Google, just put in OG Big Wicked, and see me right there.
Right on, man.
Broken Hearted Kid with his dream right there. You find all the links, doggy dog. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, brother. And
shout out to you, doggy dog.
Yeah, stay
Keep
healthy,
doing
brother.
Your thing.
Stay safe.
Yeah, you too, my man. You know what I mean? All love and support, my man.
All right, brother. We'll talk soon.
All right, my G.
All right, brother.
You have a great afternoon, G.
You as well.
Peace out, dog.
Thank you. See you next time.
Can't stop, won't stop. Real ones till the motherfucking casket drop. Can't stop, won't stop. Ace up to the motherfucking casket drop.
There you go, guys. Another powerful episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it did some good for you. It does some good for me. And, you know, I'm really, really walking away from these better little by little. So I hope you guys are enjoying these. And we'll make sure to keep them coming. Follow us at Put the Stress Down Podcast on Instagram. P.T.S.D Pod on Twitter.
The truth, motherfucker, is all in your eyes. I roll criminals, face with the spies, real ones.